Hello, and thanks for tuning into the show that goes around the continent to bring you stories near and far. I'm Joke Rogers at Channels Television here in Lagos, and I'm joined by Vincent McCory from the Voice of America in Washington.
Well, thanks. I'm Vincent McCory at the Voice of America. Happy to be with you again for another edition of Africa 54. Let's start off with the latest from Nigeria. Joke Rogers in Lagos brings you that story.
Good news from the Nigerian community in the United Arab Emirates as multiple reports confirm the blanket restriction on Nigerians seeking work permits is being eased gradually. Our correspondent Mayowa Adegoke, who has been following the story for the past 2 years, brings us this update.
When the HR sent me the message, it was like, your visa has been approved and change of status too. I was like, wow, I used the dancing emoji.
Tolulope, a Nigerian living in Dubai, shares her good news of getting a work permit and a renewal of her residency in the United Arab Emirates.
They actually decided to make new visa for me.
Her story confirms multiple reports that the over 2-year ban on Nigerians seeking new work permits in the country has been eased by the authorities. The ban, which was first reported in June 2021, has resulted in the loss of many jobs and the unplanned exit of many residents who found no legal or financial means to continue staying in the United Arab Emirates. But it appears all that has begun to change for the better, restoring the hopes of thousands of Nigerians who have been living on the edge.
It's a good development because this has not happened for the last 2 years. So people are getting it. More people are willing to apply. Some people have been getting across to their companies to check again if they will be able to make the visa for them now.
So far, successful applications have only been reported by female workers, while majority of applications by male residents are reportedly pending or rejected outrightly. Damilola, a supervisor at one of the popular Nigerian restaurants in the city, who also recently got her work permit and Emirates ID renewed, says she's able to conduct her personal and work affairs with ease, a reality not shared by some of her friends.
You know, when we go to the metro station and my friends want to hide because they're not comfortable being outside, scared of police. Some people waste a lot of money because these places they're supposed to stroll to, they want to take taxi to instead. It's really difficult, trust me. I'm not in their shoes, but for some reason I feel what they are going through right now.
For the first time in 2 years, thousands of Nigerians in the UAE have a tangible reason to keep hoping that sooner than later, all restrictions will be removed and they can once again do business and work as responsible residents of the United Arab Emirates.
Well, Mayowa joins me now from the UAE. Mayowa, good to see you today.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
So I can imagine the excitement. So what's the general mood of Nigerians in light of this latest update?
Definitely, there's a lot of hope. People are very hopeful. This situation has lingered for over 2 years now. And so this update really brings a ray of light and everyone's expecting that things will, just continue to take a good turn from here.
In your report, you said that the situation has been on for about 2 years. How have those affected survived for that long?
It's been different strokes for different folks. Some people, I can tell you, have run through their savings. Some have had to depend on family back home in Nigeria. A lot of people have had to exit the country because they just couldn't cope. And some have been hanging on by thin thread, just hoping for a day like this when good news will come their way. And it really has been tough, I must tell you, for many, many Nigerians and many Nigerian families.
I can imagine from the reports that we gather, this leniency mostly extends to women. Do we know why men are yet to enjoy the same courtesy?
There has been no official statement, and in fact, no one is expecting any such statement because, as we've seen over the years, these decisions are made, these policies are implemented without any official announcement. But what people do think is it's security focused. So they're probably weighing their options with security concerns. We do know that in the past, many Nigerian male youths have, been seen to get into trouble, and even the women who are getting these visas have to get a police clearance. So we do expect that ultimately the men will get the same thing after a security check to make sure that they're worthy of being in the United Arab Emirates.
And is there anything Nigerians in the UAE can do to encourage the UAE government to lift any and, in fact, all other restrictions?
Absolutely. Nigerians living in the country who are still here need to prove to the United Arab Emirates government that they are of good character, that they are here as responsible residents, and they need to come together to show that we are here, we only want to do good business, we only want to work, we only want to contribute positively to the economy and to the overall image of the nation. Ultimately, the UAE is concerned about its reputation, it's concerned about its internal security, it's concerned about just making sure that we've got the right people living with us in this country. And once Nigerians can prove and show that they are of the same mind, I believe that things will get better.
So how many people have you seen that have had successful applications? I gather that, there have been some, in that respect. How many have you seen? What's the percentage of the applications that have been successful so far following the lifting of the ban?
Well, I personally know about 5 to 8 people who have gotten these applications approved. It's hard to give you a specific number because there is no public record that we can check and say, okay, this is a number that we can say this is it. But we do know, I personally know of 5 to 8 people. In just trying to gather this report together, I've spoken to 5 to 8 people who say all women who have gotten approval. So yes.
Right, and what do you think that the Nigerian government back home can do to help? Or do you have any inclination as to whether the Nigerian government is also weighing in on this matter for their own people?
What the Nigerian government back home can do is to continue to dialogue with the UAE counterpart. We do know that the monies owed Emirates Airline plays a big role in all of this, plus security concerns and crime from those who live in the country, a small percentage, I would say. So the Nigerian government back home can definitely continue to amp up the conversations they're having with the UAE government. We do know that right now we're about to have new ministers appointed. So as soon as possible, whoever is appointed to handle foreign affairs should begin to interface with the United Arab Emirates. I would dare say that the UAE should be the first stop for such a minister, and this is what we need to see to help the situation improve.
Mayowa, great to see you again today, and thank you for sharing insight into that situation.
Thank you for having me again.
We want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa54, and check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. After the break, demand for pangolin scales in Chinese medicine leads to massive poaching, but this little guy is getting a new start at La Palala Wilderness Reserve in South Africa. Welcome back to Africa 54. I'm Vincent McCory in Washington. Pangolins, a type of ant-eaters, have been used in traditional Chinese medicine for centuries, but the demand for their scales is putting some pangolin species at high risk of extinction. Officials in South Africa are trying to ensure the animal's survival, cracking down on the illegal trade and rehabilitating rescued animals. Kate Bartlett reports from La Palala Wilderness Reserve, Limpopo, South Africa.
Kajima may only be a baby, but this pangolin has already experienced a harrowing life. Poachers caught him at just a few months old to be trafficked. Wildlife experts say the most likely destination was China. Fortunately for Kajima, South African authorities rescued him in a high-stakes sting operation. Kajima will soon be let free in the South African Wildlife Reserve. First, he is learning the basics of being an African anteater, how to burrow and find his own food. Volunteer Gareth Thomas is Kojima's foster parent.
Initially, I would obviously be a bit of a helicopter parent. I monitored him. I was with him 100% of the time. They have these incredible personalities, they have characters, they're incredibly charismatic, and they're hyper aware, they're hyper intelligent.
Pangolins are revered in some parts of Africa, with myths and legends around the mammals, which are seen as the bringers of thunder, rain and lightning. Elsewhere on the continent, they're eaten as bushmeat, but it's their use in traditional Chinese medicine that's pushed some pangolin species close to extinction, despite no scientific evidence that their scales, which are made of the same substance as human fingernails, have any curative properties.
With Chinese labor and workforces moving into Africa to perform various functions and actions, they've noticed, obviously, these huge piles of scales next to the bushmeat shops along roadsides and in forests, and started a trade with those because they have a need for them in their traditional Chinese medicine.
But animals such as pangolins are not just victims of opportunistic trade.
This is organized crime. Snare poaching on a small scale is understandable because people are hungry. We know the economic situation. We understand that. The whole issue around rhino and pangolin is generally around organized crime, and it's greed.
In recent years, the Chinese government has put a ban on certain pangolin products, but experts say there are still loopholes. No one knows how many pangolins are left, but with tons of their scales leaving Africa's shore each year, wildlife experts say they are certain the mammal's numbers are declining rapidly. At least one African pangolin has avoided that unfortunate fate. Later this month, Kojima will be released to start his new life in the wild. Kate Bartlett for VOA News, Lapalala Wilderness Reserve, Limpopo, South Africa.
Oh, there's his tongue.
See that?
A Paris-based fashion designer is not giving up on his passion for making traditional fabrics, also known as faso dafani. This is why Francois Yemogo returns to his home country of Burkina Faso to bring his weaving craft to life. This has now expanded internationally. Take a look.
Amid the rhythmic clatter of traditional wooden looms, artisans at a workshop in rural Burkina Faso spin indigo-dyed cotton into sprawling lengths of cloth destined for modern suits designed by the nation's foremost couturier. 20 years ago, Paris-based fashion designer Francois Yemogo returned to his native Burkina Faso to build a facility specializing in making faso dafani, the country's traditional fabric, for use in his signature indigo sport coats. That workshop is now at the center of a faso dafani resurgence after a recent edict by the nation's military leaders named the hand-woven material the official state dress, mandating its use at state functions and in school uniforms.
Our cotton is pure for children, and the whole world is fighting over it. Cotton is noble, and we don't know its value. So now, it's up to us to value it and use it.
Donc, ça pèse beaucoup dans l'économie du pays.
The West African country's economy leans heavily on its cotton industry, often termed its white gold for employment opportunities and export revenues. Yemogo, a former intern under renowned American fashion designer Marc Jacobs, began integrating faso dafani into his collections in hopes of endowing them with a neo-contemporary flair capable of drawing the fabric into the global fashion spotlight and securing higher returns for local artisans. For various customers, they believe his products are good for the country's economy.
I chose
the fabric because of its quality. It's a local product, well modernized, and that's what got me interested.
Yamiogo's most recent collection was the highlight of a Faso Danfani themed catwalk event in Paris last month, hailed by a diverse audience clothed in the age-old fabric.
It's time for a short break. As we do, we remind you to visit our website channelstv.com for news and programming around the clock. You can also find us at youtube.com/channelsweb. And still to come, at only 8 years old, this gifted chess player calls for more children to get into the game.
Welcome back to Africa 54. I'm Vincent Makori in Washington. In Nigeria, poverty is the main reason many children are not going to school. But there are more efforts to close this gap. Gibson Emeka reports on one unique economic approach designed to get kids into school.
Patient Joseph is a second-year junior high student at North School for 100 naira a day, which is equal to about $0.25 a day. The chance of her getting education was bleak because of her family limited income, but now with the pay-as-you-go tuition option at North School, Joseph can access learning and school essentials for less than $5 per month.
Children like me from low-income family get free books, school uniforms, lunch daily, and the girls get sanitary pads monthly. I learned new things. I learned how to speak in public. I even improved in my mathematics.
Joseph isn't the only one who is excited. Many parents, although still struggling to pay, get a discount and the chance to keep their children in school.
This one is helpful more than other schools that I would want them to go. To get that 100 naira, we found it a little bit difficult, but to God be the glory, being that is the cheapest way of enrolling our child to school. We be delighted to pay it.
Kingsley Bangwell and his wife launched this North School in 2019, a response to increase in the number of children dropping out of school. The Bangwells developed a flexible and affordable tuition option for children from poor homes. Students pay less than 10% of 150 tuition per term, while sponsors and partners donate the rest, Bangwell says.
Families that, have limited resource, the priority will be food, medicine, shelter, and just basic living. So what that means is that education and sending their children to school will be relegated at the background.
The number of out-of-school children in Nigeria as of 2022 stood at 18.5 million. According to an international charity Save the Children, with over 40% of Nigeria's 200 million populations living below the poverty line, many households cannot afford school fees. James Rotimi, an education expert, says the government should close the gaps in Nigeria's education sector.
A lot of rural schools don't even have roof over their head. No electricity, no lab, in fact, funding of education is grossly inadequate, and it's a big challenge. Apart from that, manpower must be intentional about funding teachers' training and continuous training.
With over 100 students enrolled, North School hopes to expand and take more requests. While inadequate funding has hampered progress, school authorities say they are looking for getting more sponsors to join their cause. Gibson Emeka for VOA News, Abuja, Nigeria.
We're always looking out for stories that encourages and impacts young ones. And here in Nigeria, an 8-year-old gifted chess player is using her love for the board game to make the world a better place as she pushes for more young ones to learn and play the game.
In the bustling suburb of Kubwa, just outside Nigeria's capital Abuja, an 8-year-old chess prodigy is making her mark by using the ancient board game as a tool for change and empowerment. Ivie Orieto has been conquering both local and online chess competitions with her skills and unwavering determination. Urieto hopes to become a grandmaster by the time she turns 15 and believes that by sharing the knowledge of the game with other children across Nigeria, where millions of children are out of school, she will help steer them away from a life of crime.
I go around giving chess because I want people to learn how to play chess so that there will not be crime in the world. The world can be a peaceful place and a better place. These are the bishops. This is the queen.
First introduced to the game at just 4 years old by her father, Clement, Urieto's aptitude for chess quickly became apparent, helping to nurture a unique bond between father and daughter.
Everything I know about chess, I taught her to the best of my knowledge. So, but because I want her to take it to the next level, I have to give her a coach.
Urieto's successes have also earned her recognition as an ambassador for the US-based The Gift of Chess Foundation.
What happened is that they sent her over 400 chess sets from US. So what we do is we go to neighborhoods, we go to schools, we go to orphanage homes, we give her chess sets, we teach them how to play chess sets. So that was basically what she do. She's the chess player. I'm the one that's taking her around because she's a minor, so I have to be there for her.
Her efforts are already paying off, helping to breathe new life into existing chess clubs in local schools, with teachers acknowledging a surge in the interest from young enthusiasts.
They cannot capture the king. You're black, so you have to move only your piece.
Despite the challenge of balancing school with her chess commitments, Urieto remains undeterred and has found a way around it. She's becoming an example to her peers, as well as to young parents in her community who are increasingly investing in helping their children discover their unique talents due to her influence. According to the International Chess Federation rating, Nigeria ranks number 88 in the world.
For many years, Kenya's livestock market has faced challenges like price instability, low purchasing power among consumers, and limited marketing options for pastoralists. Now, a Nairobi-based startup called Nomad is offering small livestock farmers in rural areas a way to buy and sell their livestock online. VOA's Ahmed Hussein reports from Wajir County, Kenya.
Early morning in this livestock market at the heart of Wajir town in Kenya's northeast. Ibrahim Ahmed takes pastoralists through Nomad, an online livestock marketplace. He co-founded the site with Abdurrahman Ahmed in 2019. He says small rural farmers now have much easier way to buy and sell their livestock.
We normally come to markets like this to register the pastoralists and get their data, like the number of animals and the prices, and then we connect them with livestock buyers who are mainly bulk buyers. They normally want like a specific type of animal, and they cannot reach up to these markets.
Ahmed says Nomad has done livestock transactions for hundreds of clients from as far as Mogadishu in Somalia by connecting buyers and sellers online.
One of the main benefits of Nomad is better price for pastoralists. We try to give them a better price, 20 to 25% better price than what they get in the market. Because for us, the buyer is from somewhere else.
Nomad is the first product of Gelgil Technologies Limited, which was also co-founded by Ibrahim Ahmed. It covers over 10 market areas in northern Kenya and has registered more than 300 pastoralists, including Siad Ali.
I'm a pastoralist with 78 goats. Gel here helped me make a profit by selling my livestock in far areas, but I am hoping to sell more in the future.
Kenya's Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock estimates about 60% of the livestock population in Kenya is found in the arid and semi-arid lands. A majority of the people living here, livestock is their main source of income, but officials say the sector has been on decline.
We had 5 seasons of failed rainfall. We have lost over 30% of our livestock population. So to counter this, we are introducing, together with the help of our partners, piloting of feedlots, fattening centers, and fodder production, so that we can at least reduce the risk of livestock deaths. during times of calamities.
The livestock sector in Kenya is not centralized, and experts say counties should put more funds in the establishment of proper market infrastructure.
We want the government to help us sell our livestock overseas because at the moment we have a bad market. Other than Mogadishu and Nairobi, we don't have another market, but we need help.
By the end of 2023, Nomad plans to expand its coverage inside Kenya and to neighboring countries. Ahmed Hussein for VOA News, Wajir, Kenya.
Well, and that's our show for today. You can find all the continent's top news and world news online at voaafrica.com. Check it out. I'm Vincent McCory in Washington. Channels Television has our last word.
We look forward to bringing you another show next week. Do remember that channelstv.com is your source for news and other programming. I'm Joke Rogers. Thanks for watching and goodbye.